Governments have existed since the dawn of civilization. They play a crucial role in organizing society and maintaining order. The essence of government lies in its ability to promote the common good. It ensures that resources are allocated fairly and that social justice is upheld. One of the core purposes of government is to protect individual rights. This includes safeguarding freedoms such as speech, assembly and religion. Governments also work to ensure that citizens are treated equally under the law. This is fundamental to maintaining trust and legitimacy. Another key function of government is upholding the rule of law. This means that laws are applied consistently and fairly to all individuals. It prevents arbitrary use of power and ensures that everyone is accountable. Effective governance requires a transparent and impartial legal system. Governments must also work to promote social welfare. This includes providing essential services like healthcare, education and infrastructure. By doing so, they help to improve the quality of life for all citizens. In essence, the government's role is to create a stable and prosperous society. While the essence of government defines its purpose, the regime is the mechanism through which it is exercised. A regime includes the institutions, processes and rules that structure how power is used. It determines how leaders are chosen and how decisions are made. Different regimes have different ways of exercising power. Democracies, for example, rely on the participation of citizens through voting. Autocracies, on the other hand, concentrate power in the hands of a single ruler or a small group. Each regime has its own strengths and weaknesses. The regime also influences the relationship between the government and the governed. In a democratic regime, there is a greater emphasis on accountability and transparency. Leaders are held accountable to the people, and there are mechanisms for addressing grievances. In contrast, autocratic regimes may lack these checks and balances. Understanding the regime is essential for analysing how government functions. It helps to identify the sources of power and the methods of governance. By examining the regime, we can better understand the effectiveness and legitimacy of a government. Regimes can either be just or tyrannical, depending on how power is used. A just regime aims to serve the common good and protect individual rights. It operates within the framework of the rule of law and seeks to promote fairness and equality. In contrast, a tyrannical regime abuses power for the benefit of a few. It often involves the suppression of dissent and the violation of individual rights. Tyrannical regimes prioritize the interests of the ruling elite over the needs of the general population. This leads to social injustice and widespread dissatisfaction. The distinction between just and tyrannical regimes is crucial. It highlights the importance of accountability and transparency in governance. Just regimes are characterized by open decision-making processes and respect for the rule of law. Tyrannical regimes, on the other hand, are marked by secrecy and arbitrary use of power. The impact of a regime on society can be profound. Just regimes foster trust and cooperation among citizens, leading to social stability and economic growth. Tyrannical regimes, however, breed fear and resentment, resulting in social unrest and economic decline. Understanding this dual nature is essential for evaluating the effectiveness of different forms of government. Aristotle and Plato, two of the most influential political philosophers, offered valuable insights into the nature of government. Aristotle believed that the purpose of government is to promote the common good. He argued that a just government must balance the interests of different groups within society. Plato, on the other hand, emphasized the importance of wisdom and virtue in rulers. In his work, The Republic, he proposed the idea of philosopher kings. According to Plato, only those who possess true knowledge and moral integrity should govern. This, he argued, would lead to a more just and harmonious society. Both philosophers recognized the potential for government to be either just or tyrannical. Aristotle warned against the dangers of tyranny, where rulers prioritize their own interests over those of the people. Plato, too, cautioned against the corrupting influence of power and the need for checks and balances. Their ideas continue to influence modern political thought. Aristotle's emphasis on the common good and Plato's focus on virtuous leadership remain relevant. By studying their works, we can gain a deeper understanding of the principles that underpin effective and just governance. Section 5. Steiner's three-parted sphere state. Rudolf Steiner, a modern philosopher, introduced the concept of the three-parted sphere state. According to Steiner, society should be divided into three distinct spheres: the cultural, the political, and the economic. Each sphere operates independently but interrelates to create a balanced society. The cultural sphere encompasses education, art, and science. It is driven by the pursuit of knowledge and creativity. The political sphere focuses on governance and the rule of law. It ensures that power is exercised fairly and that individual rights are protected. The economic sphere deals with the production, distribution, and consumption of goods and services. Steiner argued that each sphere should have its own autonomy. This separation prevents the concentration of power and promotes a more equitable society. By allowing each sphere to function independently, society can achieve a balance between freedom and order. Steiner's model offers a unique perspective on governance. It highlights the importance of maintaining boundaries between different aspects of society. By doing so, it seeks to prevent the abuse of power and promote social harmony. Section 6. The Mandate of Heaven in Governance. The mandate of heaven is an ancient Chinese political philosophy that has influenced governance for centuries. It posits that rulers are granted the right to govern by a higher power based on their ability to maintain order and harmony. If a ruler fails to do so, they lose the mandate of heaven and their rule becomes illegitimate. This philosophy emphasizes the moral responsibility of rulers. It holds them accountable for their actions and ensures that they govern in the best interests of the people. The mandate of heaven serves as a check on the abuse of power, as rulers must constantly strive to be just and fair. The concept also has implications for the legitimacy of government. It suggests that a government's right to rule is not absolute but conditional. This idea has parallels in modern democratic principles, where the legitimacy of government is based on the consent of the governed. The mandate of heaven underscores the importance of moral leadership. It reminds us that rulers must be accountable to the people and that their authority is not inherent but earned. This philosophy continues to resonate in contemporary discussions about governance and legitimacy. Section 7. Principles of legalism and their relevance. Legalism is another ancient Chinese philosophy that offers insights into governance. Unlike the mandate of heaven, which emphasizes moral leadership, legalism focuses on strict laws and harsh punishments. It argues that human nature is inherently selfish and that strong centralized control is necessary to maintain order. Legalism advocates for clear and consistent laws that are enforced rigorously. It believes that this approach deters crime and ensures social stability. However, it also recognizes the potential for abuse of power and the need for checks and balances. The principles of legalism are relevant in modern contexts as well. They highlight the importance of a strong legal framework and the rule of law. However, they also caution against excessive authoritarianism and the dangers of a punitive approach to governance. Legalism's emphasis on law and order can contribute to effective governance. However, it must be balanced with principles of justice and fairness. By integrating legalist principles with other political philosophies, we can develop a more comprehensive and balanced approach to governance. Section 8. Comparative Analysis of Political Philosophies. Political philosophies from different cultures and eras offer diverse perspectives on governance. Confucianism, for example, emphasizes the importance of moral virtue and social harmony. It advocates for rulers to lead by example and prioritize the welfare of the people. Mo Di, another Chinese philosopher, proposed the idea of universal love and impartiality. He argued that rulers should treat all people equally and work towards the common good. This philosophy challenges the hierarchical and elitist structures often found in traditional governance models. Comparing these philosophies allows us to identify common themes and differences. While Confucianism and Mo Di's ideas both emphasize moral leadership, they differ in their approach to social hierarchy. Similarly, the mandate of heaven and legalism offer contrasting views on the source of legitimacy and the role of law. By examining these diverse perspectives, we can develop a more nuanced understanding of governance. Each philosophy offers valuable insights that can inform contemporary political thought. Integrating these ideas can help create a more balanced and equitable system of governance. Section 9. Vision of Balanced and Equitable Governance. A balanced and equitable governance system draws on the strengths of various political philosophies. It incorporates the moral leadership emphasized by Confucianism and the mandate of heaven. It also recognizes the importance of a strong legal framework as advocated by legalism. Such a system ensures that power is exercised fairly and that individual rights are protected. It promotes social justice by prioritizing the common good and treating all citizens equally. It also maintains accountability and transparency, preventing the abuse of power. Steiner's three-parted sphere state offers a useful model for achieving this balance. By separating the cultural, political, and economic spheres, it prevents the concentration of power and promotes autonomy. This approach ensures that each aspect of society functions effectively and contributes to overall harmony. A balanced and equitable governance system is not static but dynamic. It evolves in response to changing social, economic, and political conditions. By continually integrating diverse perspectives and adapting to new challenges, it can create a stable and prosperous society. Section 10. Conclusion. Understanding the essence and mechanisms of government is crucial for promoting effective and just governance. By distinguishing between the core purposes of government and the regimes through which it is exercised, we can better evaluate their impact on society. Historical and modern political philosophies offer valuable insights that can inform contemporary governance models. A balanced and equitable governance system draws on the strengths of various philosophies. It ensures that power is exercised fairly, individual rights are protected, and the common good is prioritized. By integrating diverse perspectives and maintaining accountability, we can create a stable and prosperous society. The principles discussed in this essay highlight the importance of moral leadership, the rule of law, and social justice. They remind us that the legitimacy of government is based on its ability to serve the people. By striving for a balanced and equitable governance system, we can work towards a more just and harmonious world. In conclusion, the study of political philosophies and governance models is essential for understanding and improving the systems that shape our lives. By learning from the past and adapting to the present, we can build a better future for all.